With the Minecraft movie, being out, and, I gave my thoughts about the whole situation, the craze, the controversy that it led to, the teens, preteens, you know, basically trashing theaters. You see it all over the internet and everything, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. And the obvious question is, what do theaters do? Well, I'm watching a clip from ABC's Good Morning America, and apparently one theater in New Jersey, Township Theater, is putting out a new rule saying, hey, you want to see this movie? Not a problem. But you're going to have a parent or a legal guardian with you, or a responsible adult. In other words, they're saying, look, yeah, we don't mind if you see the movie because you grew up on it, but we're not taking any chances with you coming in here and doing to our theater what every other team that basically in these viral videos have done to other theaters like AMC's and Regals and all that. So now the question is, will a lot of theaters, even the major chains, follow suit basically with what Township is doing, or even some local ones do it? Will they follow suit? Well, if you have one guy from Regal saying, hey, one of the things I'm considering, the CEO that is, with them coming out and considering, hey, we might just put, we just might put, the opportunity or put, the possibility of people smoking weed and be texting on the phone as a way to get them into the theaters. We might put that as a, hey, you can come on in and do that if you want to, option and, when they go and see the show. And if that happens, hey, that's up to them. But I don't think, he's going to get it past the board, because I think they're going to realize, hey, we want money, we don't want complaints and everything. So, yeah, he might be proposing it and considering it, but I don't think it's going to see the light of day, quite honestly. I don't think it'll see the light of day, period. But, you can't blame him, because if you want to get business back into theaters after the pandemic and everything, you want people to get over the fears and everything, then this is probably one of the best options to go with. It's an attractive option, and who would basically that smokes weed, marijuana, or likes to text and tell people, oh man, you got to see this movie. This is good while I'm watching and all that. Well, it's happening, or while the film's playing. Who wouldn't want to take that kind of an offer? It's tempting. It's attractive and tempting, but we'll have to see. But I don't think it will pass. I don't think it'll pass the board, because he's got to get it by the board of directors to make it happen. But I think the opposite. But I think what's going to happen though is the opposite. I think instead of that being voted in, the board of directors is going to be like, hey, let's just vote in, a rule of, what these other local theaters and other chains are doing now, and that's basically putting in that parental and basically leaning into that PG rating, and that's, hey, you want to see the movie, you're going to have a parent with you, or a legal guardian, or a responsible adult, because if you don't, you're just coming by yourself, you ain't going to go and watch it. No, we'll send you to a G-rated film if we have it, or we'll just tell you to leave. So I think honestly what's going to happen in the future when it comes to these kind of movies, because you got Five Nights at Freddy's 2 coming up, there's possibility that it could happen again with that, and a potential sequel. I think honestly what the future lies and holds is, for these kind of movies, is the MPA and a lot of the major chains, smaller chains, and local chains. They're going to start leaning more into that PG rating, more so than ever before, and even the PG-13 rating more so than ever before, just like they used to back in the 80s and 90s and so on. But what do you think the future is going to be? Do you think the ratings are going to be more leaned into by the MPA, the major theater and small chain, major theater and small theater and local theater chains? Do you think they're going to lean more into that with the PG-13 and all that, to make sure the appropriate audiences with the appropriate people around them is going to be allowed? What are your thoughts? Do you think that will happen, to avoid what's occurred before? How do you feel about it? Do you think that's the direction they're going to go? Let me know in the comments, as well as on the live chat during the premiere. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you all later, but let me know your thoughts. Love to hear what you have to say about this. What do you think is going to be the aftermath because of what happened over the weekend, and potentially could happen in the future if things aren't kind of reeled in, if you know what I mean? Let me know, and until then, I'm out.